So let's get started and just understand what is full stack development. I hope every one of you are here for MERN, right? The MERN, not me, not the me. I'm hoping that's what it is. To start with, what is full stack? Okay, let me ask you one question. When you people are enrolling for an entrance or you're filling up a form, what do you people do? What you fill in the details they ask us, right? The name, the date of birth, the country we live in, right? And the mandatory email address, all of that in a form, right? Once you hit the submit button, or general example of Facebook or Instagram, right? For the very first time, in order to log into Facebook or Instagram, what do you have to do? Anyone? I downloaded Facebook. Now what do I have to do? This is my first time. I didn't had Facebook previously. What do we do? Any other application in such case? We create an account, right? The very first thing we do is we create an account on the application we downloaded. Let's take an example of Facebook and stick to it. I downloaded Facebook. I was not a user previously. So for the very first time, it asks me to create an account. The basic information in while creating an account would be asked, such as first name, full name, date of birth, the city I'm living in, my interests, my hobbies, right? Once I do that, I click on submit button. What happens when I click on submit button? What do you people think? What happens with the data I entered? You people can answer. It's not like a one way conversation. You people are free to answer whatever it comes to your mind. So when you click on the submit button, all of the data which you have entered on that page actually goes to the backend. Backend, assume it's a black box wherein your data would be processed in a manner that is supposed to be, and this data is actually stored on a database. Database is a place where your data is stored, right? Now when I log in, now how will I log in it to? Because I created an account, now it will ask me to sign in or log in, not to create the account, because I Facebook has already my data, right? Now when I after I create my account, it asks me to re-log in or sign in. Now in the sign in, I would have only two text fields. The first field would be username, the second field would be the password. Once I give those and hit the submit button, what happens? Facebook actually checks whether this user exists in the database or not. If the user exists in the database, it will allow you to go to home page, right? That's what any application would work like, correct? How is it happening? How is Facebook, the things which you're looking at Facebook, various functionality that you perform, like seeing post, scrolling data, wishing friends birthdays, right? And it shows you memories. How do you all see this? This is UI basically, which is appealing, or you can see with your eyes, is UI, user interface. What happens when you click on, like when you write comment, how does it get added? That is all backend. How does the comments get saved in the database? That is database, right? This is what everything is full stack. When we talk about full stack, it is UI plus backend plus database, three major portions of full stack development. Here, how we gonna learn full stack is, we would start with UI, then come to backend, and then have our data saved in the database. This is how we are going to work on. And our classes, or how my teaching style is, I always have preferred writing the code instead of talking. That's the way you people can learn easily and effectively, instead of me speaking and then you practicing the code later, in later part of the day. That wouldn't work. You all have to work with me whenever the classes are going to start, okay? So you all have to have a laptop, and that's it. Laptop is enough, and then you people actually have to write whatever I am writing so that you understand what we are doing. Fine. Let's go back to this is a simple image of what full stack is. I actually think I have covered most of it, but let's get deep into it. See here, a web application has four sections. We didn't talk about the last section because it's not really important for you as of now, but let's discuss a bit at the end. Yeah, front end or UI, user interface. What is this? Client side. That means whatever I am looking at right now is a client side. This data, whatever I am looking at is a UI. Correct? Are you people able to see my screen? Please, anyone
Yes, ma'am.
confirm? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. If you see, this is my LinkedIn desktop site, right? All of this is my related data. Correct. Now whatever we see it with the eyes, this is basically the UI or the front end development. Here there can be n number of frameworks or libraries, as I said, on based on JavaScript. Okay, now you should ask me a question: why should we learn more? Because in the market there are 1000 plus technologies which are available, and many of the technologies are in boom, such as DevOps, AI/ML, data scientist, or machine learning. Why learn, right? Let me show you the survey of why we should learn more. So if you go to Stack Overflow survey 2023 and look into the programming, scripting, or markup languages, if you see, JavaScript is at the top. Correct? And whatever we are going to learn is on JavaScript. And if you see HTML, CSS, again, desired is 34.34%. That means these are the topmost technologies being used across the globe in the n number of companies. So this is the reason why anyone should learn MERN. Because for MERN, let's just take an example of a small thing. Okay, previously our fathers or forefathers who used to run businesses, how they used to run a business, it was a traditional orthodox system of running a business. They used to have a physical shop, and customers used to come, buy, do a transaction there with the cash, and they used to leave the shop. This was a traditional business, right? But now, uh, our generation, how do we do business now? People are running cloud kitchens. I'm not sure if you people have heard. Cloud kitchen is basically, I can cook at my home and I can simply integrate with Zomato. You people, all of you must have ordered from Zomato. I don't think no one have never did that. Okay. So cloud kitchen is basically, I'm interested in cooking, and I'm also interested in business. What do? I cook few things, whatever my passion is. Let's take simple stuff such as sandwiches, pizzas, and burgers, all of this stuff. Okay, order comes to me. Now I don't have to go to every customer who has placed an order, right? I just simply cook it at my home, and whenever it is ready, Zomato, because I have integrated with Zomato, I give such like some percentage of, assume, okay, let's take a scenario. I let's consider the name of the my cloud kitchen to be my food. Okay, my food is a cloud kitchen. Now on Zomato, while I am scrolling, I got an notification that my food is offering sandwiches, burgers, and pizzas. Now I ordered a pizza from my food. Okay, my food will get a notification that a person X has placed an order to your my food. Now my food will prepare that pizza, and a Zomato will also receive the notification parallelly. Zomato delivery guy or Zomato in general, and they will assign it to a nearest delivery boy, right? Now as soon as the pizza is ready, the pizza is given to the delivery boy, and the delivery boy actually delivers it to your address. right? This is how the delivery process works. This is how now the business is working. How is it all possible? With the because of the technology. Here the technology is Zomato, and customer placing an order, my food cloud kitchen receiving that notification, and as soon as the order is prepared, my food giving a notification to Zomato to pick up that order, and then Zomato delivering the order in reality to the customer. All of this, the business has completely changed, 360 degrees turn, to the businesses which our forefathers used to do and to the business which we are currently doing. Everything is technology, right? This is how the businesses are. And how do you think Zomato, Flipkart, or any other application which is installed on your mobile is developed onto? Most of the applications these days are developed onto React. React is a JavaScript based library. Okay, JavaScript based library. Facebook, React belongs to Facebook. Facebook started it internally in the year 2014, but as they saw that React, okay, one more question, it should come into your mind. When we have JavaScript, what is React? Why should we use React? Why can't we use plain JavaScript? Plain JavaScript is okay. You can create applications. But as the size of the application grows and the data in the application grows, it becomes difficult and tedious to manage JavaScript. In order to have some sugar coating I means already built things, Facebook developed React library, which is on JavaScript. Here we don't have to do everything from scratch. Few major modules are already built for us. We go and simply write our code. This is how React help us. Okay. Now let's go back to, I'm hoping you people understood why are we using why should we learn JavaScript. Am I clear till here? Please say yes or no, because it's
Yes, ma'am.
okay. Varun, are you able to follow or should I go slow? You people should let me know. Or you people can put it in chat. One second. Tejasvi, were you able to see my presentation on full stack development?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, sure. Fine. So coming back to this full stack, what is full stack? I actually went over why should you learn full stack or mon development, because JavaScript is on top of any technology currently, and it would be for the next 5 or 10 years, because it's a plain and simple language to learn. Now front end, as I said, you have to learn few things in order to get started with front end development. I said HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right? Now, in reality, in many companies, or when you actually start working, you wouldn't use JavaScript, native JavaScript. You would use some framework. And the frameworks which are available and are highly used in global companies such as Facebook and Google and Microsoft is Angular and React. Okay. And there are other frameworks or libraries such as Vue.js and Next.js. Next.js is again built on top of React.js. So my point to discuss all of these frameworks, or to tell you the names of these frameworks, is you don't have to worry about these frameworks. If you learn JavaScript, you can learn any framework. There are close to 1024 frameworks available on JavaScript. So we cannot learn all of them, but we can do one thing. We learn JavaScript and we will be able to understand all of these frameworks. This is on front end. Back end. As I said initially, assume backend as a black box. Okay. Now on Instagram, I created an account And when I hit the submit, I want the data to be processed. Okay, first name, last name, I want to add it. Phone number, I want to add the country code. Hobbies, I want to have it in the form of 1 2 3 list. All of these manipulations, who should do it before saving it into the database actually, right? You should ask me a question when I hit on the submit button when I'm creating an account. Why should it have to have a backend server in the middle? Why can't the data directly go to the database, right? Because I just want to save the data. But in order to have the correct data stored, we need to manipulate the data or modify the data or structure the data, right? That we do in backend or server side. Okay, luckily, I don't know if you are aware or not, but MERN stack actually brings a lot of things which are advantageous for us. The first thing is because we learned JavaScript for front end, now we don't have to learn anything in backend. Node.js is again a JavaScript backend or server. So if you know JavaScript, you can simply work with Node.js. There are other Definitely, there would be more than n number of backend languages available in the market. You people might have heard of Java and Python or Microsoft .NET, right? These languages are popularly available, and they have been used from years now, from 100 plus years. Java and Python and Microsoft .NET. But in Stack, because Node.js is a simple and lightweighted backend server side, it perfectly goes with JavaScript based front end client sites. Okay. Now the database. If you people have heard about the data, all of you might sometime have heard of database. Database, if for to understand in a layman language, database is like a black box wherein the data is stored, such as our storeroom wherein we store our items, right? The same way is the database. What do we store there? Data. There are two types of data actually, databases: SQL database and NoSQL database. We will not get into details of what it is, but SQL database is a structured database, and every table having relationship with one another. But NoSQL database is used for saving documents or any other data which is not primarily numbers, strings, right? Data such as like images, videos, or the data which is not related to each other, that kind of data is stored in NoSQL database. The last section which we didn't discuss initially was this cloud. Okay, there is a huge data these days. Everything is data. If you have heard about this term, oil, like oil, how oil is important for human survival. Any oil, if you take petrol, right? Oil industry. Russia is top of the oil industry, right? Now how oil is in demand for every country to work on. Like if India didn't buy oil from any other country, can India run? Or any other country can run? No, right? Same is the way. Data data is something without which no application is worked, no application is there actually. Every application has some data. If we see this is data. A video wherein he has posted, this is data. A data of video format, right? This is data. An image, and there is a apply now button to go to that, right? Various, again an image, this is also data. All of this is data. My network, how many people my network is in, how many jobs I can see in, right? Messages, everything is data. All of this is a data, right? So when we have so much of data, where should we save it? We cannot save it like on our local machines, right? So there is a cloud database, like somewhere the cloud server would be, and you just save it over there. That way it is protected, and also it has a huge memory. Okay, the cloud providers these days are Google has its own cloud provider, Google Cloud Platform, we call it as GCP. AWS, Amazon Web Services. Amazon has its own cloud base, which is AWS. Microsoft has its own, which is called as Azure Directory, right? So these are like basic four sections of full stack. Now let's go to the next slide. I think I've already covered everything here, but yeah, what is actually MERN? M stands for MongoDB, E stands for Express, R stands for React, N stands for Node. We already discussed what is React and Node, right? React and Node are basically JavaScript based libraries. Why should we use an Express? You can ask me this. You said React is a front end client side development and Node.js is a back end server side development. Why do we need an Express? Node.js on its own don't have any extra functionalities which are needed to build the backend server, such as routing, right? There can be n number of routing which happens. Okay, what is routing? If you see, initially when I log into LinkedIn, it is going to the page feed, right? This is one route. When I go to my network, the browser URL changed to my network. This is another route. When I go to jobs, this is another route. These are all the routes, routing, right? That routing system is not available into Node.js. So Express on its own have all of these. Like when something goes wrong, right, in any application, what error do we see? There is something wrong, please wait for some time, or do refresh your page. These kind of errors we generally see on our applications, right? So those logging of errors also is done by Express. MongoDB again is a database. Are we clear till here? mm, Anyone can answer or put your message in chat. Okay, any questions till now? Tejasvi, Varun, Akash, and Chandrasekhar. Any question? No. Um, do you people want to ask any questions related to the course? How we gonna do? You people can ask me. I'll take few questions now. Like how would be the course? How are we going to learn? Okay, I'll let you know. Yes. Yes, Akash. We are going to start with HTML, and then once we are good with HTML, okay, what is HTML? I don't want to give a lot of knowledge or information on the very first demo, but let's just, as Akash has bought it, as Akash has brought this question up, let's discuss few things about HTML and CSS. HTML is basically a markup language. The browsers, any browser, Google, Safari, Firefox, any browser you take, how does this web development is written? The structure of the web page. The structure is basically, how am I saying that there should be a box which should have these items, and there should be a button post a free job, and then there should be a section which should show the recent job searches, and a section which should show recommended for you, and a box or a card. In UI, we say card, not box. In open to work card, what do I see? In job seeker guidance, how do I see? So, how am I structuring this page? That there should be a box vertically in the start, then there should be two vertical cards in the mid section, then there are two vertical cards in the last section, right? How am I structuring this web page? we can do the structure. And see, if you see here my jobs preferences, these are bold, right? This content is bold. But if you see this content based on your profile and search history, this text is not bold. How am I doing that? Here, how am I having an cursor symbol, right? How am I having a cursor symbol when I hover on a link? All of this structure is happening through HTML. Okay, we will learn the tags, we will learn the basic HTML tags and how to create. We will create two HTML sample projects. Sample projects, I mean, like a projects which can cover everything related to HTML needed to create a React app. Okay, now what is CSS? CSS is cascading style sheets. Cascading style sheets. Okay, if you see here, how am I making this React.js developer work location Hyderabad in blue color? And why is the other text in black or gray color? Right? This is in black and this is in gray. How am I able to add those colors? How am I able to say that this edit icon should be at the end of the card on the first row? How am I able to say it? Through CSS. CSS basically gives, what do you say, style the application. You will be able to style your application, make it better, make it responsive. How to make like, see this now, if you're able to see this, now I reduce the size of my browser, right? What is happening? The size of the content is changing dynamically. Are you able to follow me? See, the size of the cards is being adjusted to the screen. I am adjusting it to, right? This is called responsiveness of the application. This is also achieved through CSS itself. When we write CSS, we have breakpoints. Breakpoints is basically, if the browser screen, not the browser, your machine screen, the screen which is visible to you has some pixels, right? Length or size, better you call it as the size of your screen, has some pixels. So depending upon those pixels, the breakpoints are written. I am saying, like, if the size is half, what should I do with with these cards? If the size becomes 1 by 4, every card should come into vertical, right? Before it was three sections. When i make it when i make it like, when I reduce the size of my browser, everything becomes vertical. So this can be achieved with CSS. And then JavaScript, interesting. JavaScript is really interesting if you understand it right from the scratch. It can actually create careers if you put, like, enough time and hard work to understand how JavaScript works. Then really you will have a good chance of getting a job into IT. So what is happening? Let's closely look at this. So there is a job recommended for me from React.js developer, work location Hyderabad, Unison Consulting, right? So what happens when I click on React.js developer? It actually opens up the entire page, right? So this kind of response, this kind of action driven, right? Action driven events is called JavaScript. Now, if you see, what happens when I'm clicking on like this button, easy apply, a form is getting opened. A form, when I hit on next, I enter this detail, review, and then I submit the application. The application gets submitted to the company, right? That's how the JavaScript works. And the data will get to a later point of time, but we'll definitely start with front end development because it's easier to learn and it will give you a confidence of you can do coding. That's how we would start. Once we are good with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, we would go for React project. CSS also we will do one project. JavaScript also we will do one project. Once all of this is clear, we would go for React project. We would do one React project, one Node.js project, and how to integrate React.js and Node.js project, a sample MongoDB database, and how to actually integrate React, Node, and this database. we would see all of this into our course in the course of 45 days or 60 days, whatever the visual part decides. Are we good till here? mm, any questions, ma? Tejasvi, Varun, Chandrasekhar, I'm not able to hear him. Yeah, ask me questions if you have any. Tejasvi, Akash, Varun, please ask me questions. Are we good? Can we close the session here? Course starting date, ma. Course starting date will be, you will get to know all of these details like course starting date, timings, and how many days course would run from Visualpath. They will let you know all of this. Okay. Once they have everyone on the, like they have minimum people on the course, they would give us a date and we would start from that date. Mostly it will be from Monday to Friday, in the mornings, but Visual Path can confirm on that. You people please talk to them after the demo and they'll give you an idea. Okay. Okay, okay, everyone. Nice talking to you and listening to you from various backgrounds. I hope we will meet soon for our session. All the best for your futures. Course duration, Chandrasekhar, would be from 45 days to 60 days, most probably. If we skip, like if we have to revise some topics, if we have taken like a day or two extra on some projects, it would be mostly 45 to 50 days. That's what I have been doing, like from long time. So yeah, you can expect like 45 to 50 days.